recount is over, see how the candidates are reacting, and get the latest details from TV5's Mark Despotakis. And the latest job market report is in. See where Clarion stands. Also, Courtney Maines will be here with your weather. All this and more right here on TV5 News.
To have dinner waiting when I'm home.
Please be so loud.
Don't tell me what to do! You shut up!
I thought you'd be home.
I can get pizza at work!
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I'll do something better. I'll fix you something
something better!
Let go of me!
Get in the kitchen!
No!
Oh, it hurts! Do you want to see what hurts? That's what hurts! That's what hurts! Now get up and clean up this mess! Shut up!
I'll be quiet. I'll be quiet. Oh, please.
For information, call 1-800-END-ABUSE.
I'll take Simmons.
Give me Jones,
Anderson.
Smith,
Lightfoot.
Bishop,
Hernandez.
Swifka,
Harris.
Lavender.
Peavy.
Yes!
In the game of life, you've got a much better chance at getting picked for a cool job with great pay if you take algebra, geometry, and calculus. You need to know how math can improve your future. Demand it. Call NACME. We'll tell you.
You're watching Clarion's very own TV5 News at 8.
Tuesday, November 28th. Good evening, I'm Cynthia Walker. Here's a look at tonight's top stories. Clarion County unemployment rate report is back. See how Clarion ranks. And the Florida recount is over and the courtrooms are full. See how the candidates are reacting. And as always, Courtney Maines will be here with the weather. All this and more on tonight's TV5 News. Florida courtrooms were busy today with the election cases. Vice President Al Gore's lawyers has turned over a short witness list to Bush's lawyers. Gore's list of witnesses include Ken Brace, a specialist in the Votomatic punch card, and the second witness is Nicholas Hengartner, an associate professor of statistics at Yale University. The court is also filing 13,000 ballots from Palm Beach and Miami-Dade County as evidence. TV5's very own Mark Despotakis is in the newsroom with more up-to-the-minute election information.
Thanks, Cynthia. We are here live in the newsroom Central, and as you can see, I'm here next to the big board. We've decided to get rid of all those fancy graphics that you're seeing everywhere else. We're going back to the basics here. We're going to give you all the information right here, like this was like in third grade when you had this board. This is what we're doing, giving you the basics. So let's start with the first bit of basics. The United States Supreme Court. Al Gore and George W. Bush both filed briefs today for Friday's oral arguments in the United Supreme Court. And if you did not know, those are not going to be televised. Normally, cases in the Supreme Court are not televised. They thought possibly it was going to happen here. It is not going to happen here. Here's what each side is asking. George W. Bush is asking that the U.S. Supreme Court is to end any further recounts, meaning anything going on in Florida. He says we need to, quote, have some legal finality to this entire election recount. Meanwhile, Al Gore's side is saying that this is not an issue for the Supreme Court or any federal court to decide that. The Florida Supreme Court has already made their decision. That's where we need to be. And as I said, the briefs were filed already today for Friday. Now, we should note that there are a lot of other court battles actually going on. Let me just go through a couple of them. Right now, Al Gore has asked the state judge to quickly rule on his challenge of the Florida certification. As you know, Kathleen Harris, the Secretary of State in Florida, ruled that, yes, indeed, George W. Bush won the electoral votes for Florida. He's asked for a, quote, special master to review the disputed ballots from Miami-Dade and Palm Beach counties. Another lawsuit, there's a Democratic lawsuit in Tallahassee that is accusing Republicans of tampering with 4,700 absentee ballots in Seminole County. Now, a trial for that has been set for December 6th. That's next week. Another bit of a court battle here for you. The butterfly ballot. We've heard a lot about it. As you know, a lot of people said when they tried to vote for Al Gore, they actually voted for Pat Buchanan. So the Democrats are asking for a new election there in Palm Beach County. That's going to the Florida Supreme Court. And in the 11th U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals in Atlanta, they have postponed 2 arguments until next week. One of them includes Brevard County voters who contend that Florida's law allowing selective hand recounts is illegal. And there have also been state lawsuits filed by George W. Bush to force Hillsborough, Okaloosa, Orange, Pasco, and Polk counties to count rejected overseas absentee ballots. So it's kind of, last week we were counting tallies of votes. Now we're counting tallies of lawsuits. But as I said, George W. Bush has been declared the winner in Florida by Kathleen Harris. So that means he would have had enough electoral votes. Well, the question now arises is transition teams. Now, I want to go through some of these. Normally at this point of a race, we would already know who the transition teams are, and they would be in place because we would know who the winner was. Well, it's not turning out that way. On the Bush side, as you can see, he has already named Andy Card his chief of staff. He has not named any of his other cabinet members. General Colin Powell is probably going to be named the Secretary of State. Condoleezza Rice, who has actually worked with the Gore campaign, the Bush campaign, is going to be probably named the National Security Advisor. And Dick Cheney told NBC earlier today that the cabinet could include Democrats. So this is certainly going to be a key point we're going to see, because this race was so close, they may be trying to bond the two parties together. Now, on the other side of things, Al Gore said, well, it's just not appropriate to be even talking about transition teams. He did a press conference today, said, I'm not even going to speculate. It's not even right to speculate on who I may ask to be in my cabinet. So this is obviously still breaking a very fluid election. Who knew, like I said, that week 3 we would still be talking about election 2000. So we will have another update for you tomorrow night. For now, reporting live from the newsroom, I'm Mark Despotakis. Back to you, Cynthia.
Thank you, Mark. According to our newspaper exchange partner, the Clarion News, the new Clarion County offices are estimated to cost at least $9.6 million. Officials are looking into 3 different options for the new building. One option is to build a whole new building next to the courthouse or rip down the old jail to rebuild. The least expensive option is to restore the old jail building and turn it into offices. This would cost nearly $1 million less than the other 2 options. Beginning Friday, December 1st at 1 a.m., Clarion Police Department will begin enforcing the snow removal ordinance. Therefore, any vehicle found parked on the paved portion of any street, including park spaces and borough parking lots, will be subject to a $10 fine. Parking will also be limited from 1 a.m. through 7 a.m. on north running streets Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, and on east running streets Sunday, Tuesday, and Thursday. There are no restrictions for Saturday. Clarion County jobless rate is falling again. The unemployment rate has fallen from 4.1% in September to 3.9% in October. With the new decrease in unemployment, Clarion County is ranked 3rd in northwestern Pennsylvania for the lowest unemployment rate. South 5th Avenue. The price for the building is $195,000, which is too expensive for the Historical Society, but with the help of an anonymous donor, the price might be acceptable. The town meeting that was scheduled for this Thursday, November 30th, has been canceled. The cancellation is due to a lack of audience participation. If you're interested in participating in town meetings for another meeting to work, it will be full. The Thanksgiving holiday is one of the busiest travel times of the year, and with all the traveling costs, with all the traveling comes many accidents. The Pennsylvania State Police reported yesterday that there were 1,267 accidents with 477 people injured and 11 deaths during the next 5-day Thanksgiving. Report that those individuals and fatality alcohol related. The State Police would like to remind you to drive safely and responsibly throughout the holiday season. To help bring awareness to drivers, the State Police are participating in a nationwide Operation Care in which they will be out trying to reduce traffic accidents over the holiday weekend.
Live in Walker and Courtney Mays. Brian Cook. This is TV5 News at 8.
Hey, boyfriend wants to know if I don't help him pass it down.
Grandma, that's when it's out with this one. Man wants to go over. He's a donor.
Somebody wants to know if you're an organ and tissue donor.
Yes.
Hey, me too.
Are you a donor?
Make sure your family knows your decision so there's no question later.
This portion of the programming is being made possible through a grant from the Clarion Agway, located along Main Street in Clarion. The Clarion is a wide... The Agway is open Monday through Friday, a.m. until 5 p.m., and Saturdays from 8 a.m. until 2 p.m. That's the Clarion Agway, located at 1130 East Main Street in Clarion. Phone 226-9270.
Maybe you have what it takes to be one of us. You are proud of the Marines.
Feedback. And you know, agree to come out next. I'm going to make the movie or write a book. It would be a great book to have. And you can call to get her book. You can also find it online. Well, I have a feeling I'm going to be rather opinionated. People I know, so let's ask them scheduling. Why is it that students have such a problem here?
Tune into Feedback with Mark Despotakis every Tuesday and p.m.
Hunters are being asked to pay close attention while they are out hunting this season. Police are asking that hunters stay aware and watch out for campers and any suspicious behavior while they're out. Martin DePass was said to be missing last week when he reportedly went camping. His family believed that he was in Allegheny National Forest, although he did not tell anyone where he was going. DePass was found last week and is said to be missing. Clarion is offering a course. The course is entitled Death and Grief. The course is the first nursing course to be offered at Clarion University. It is also a general education class, so all students are permitted to take the class. The course will be dealing with grief and techniques to deal with grief. For more information, contact Clarion University's registration office. Official people have unrelated one man and a boy were both injured by gun wounds. The man was injured by a gunshot wound to his leg, and the man proceeded to call for help but bled to death before he could be reached. The other 13-year-old boy is in critical condition after accidentally shooting himself in the face. Buck season started yesterday in Pennsylvania. The State Game Commission is estimating that $800,000 from but said depends on when doe season will begin. Up next, find out what will happen to the Egyptian man accused of spying. All the details next. Stay tuned to Clarion's very own TV5 News.
This portion of the programming was made possible through a grant by the Captain Hotel Restaurant, dining as well as a nightclub. The restaurant and nightclub are open 7 days a week for your convenience. Call Captain Loomis Hotel and Restaurant 226-8400.
This portion of the programming was made possible through a grant on 66 Clarion and offers all-day delivery. Phone 226-5555. That's 226-5555. Fox's Pizza Den is open 7 days a week for your convenience. Phone 226-5555.
This programming is approved by the Carpet Barn. The Carpet Barn is located at 470 South 5th Avenue in Clarion. The Carpet Barn is open Monday through Saturday for all your carpet needs. So call the Carpet Barn, 226-7332.
Standing out from the crowd is easy when you stop in at Fashion Bug, located in a Clarion Mall. Whether you're looking for junior trendy, girls, or fashion for women, they have it all with many different styles. With our newly expanded shoe and accessory department, you're surely to find that special touch to enhance that new outfit. And if you have a fashion question, our expert out Fashion Bug in the Clarion just off exit 9 of Interstate 80, open Monday through Saturday, 10 a.m. till 9 p.m., Sunday from noon till 5.
Egyptian engineer is accused of spying Israel. Prosecutors claim that the Egyptian man gave Israel officials economic, political, and military information. The man awaits trial. The results of the study participants were placed in an MRI scanner and given headphones and taped novel. The results showed that men only listened with the left half of their brains, whereas women listened with both the left and the right side of their brains. The Dutch Parliament is putting a bill through that will possibly allow doctor-assisted suicides. This morning, one House approved the bill and the Parliament put the bill through later, and the House would approve a formality as the bill is expected to pass. Pennsylvania Governor Tom Ridge is continuing his South American trade mission. Today, the governor was in Brazil, where he's scheduled to meet with the acting governor of the state, Sao Paulo. Governor Ridge will also give a speech promoting Pennsylvania. Oh, Courtney, it was cold and wet outside.
Yeah, it was a day out there. We look the same way throughout the end of the week. Now let's take a look at this week's temperature map. Taking a look at today's satellite map, we saw gray skies and a light mixture of some rain and snow flurries out there today, which made for a cool, gloomy day for our region. Now moving on to today's temperature map. See, things warmed up gradually. The altitudes were in the low 30s today, and much of the central United States, stretching from the Midwest into the mid-eastern states, saw temperatures in the mid-40s. And finally, down south, temperatures warmed up into the mid-60s and even 70s this afternoon. Now taking a look ahead to tomorrow's precipitation map, with the exception of areas of California and regions of Texas, the precipitation of the Great New England, we can expect to see mixtures of some rain and snow. And as for us in Pennsylvania, we can look forward to a light snow shower tomorrow. Now looking ahead to tomorrow's front map, our region's going to be experiencing a high-pressure system tomorrow, which is going to bring us a slight drop in temperatures and, again, the possibility of a light snowfall. Moving on today for today, we cloudy skies with a high of 39 and a low of 30. Wednesday, snow flurries with a high of 37 and a low of 30. Thursday, snow flurries again with a high of 32 and a low of 28. On Friday, more partly cloudy skies with a high of 32 and a low of 35. And finally, on Saturday, more snow flurries with a high of 32 and a low of 25.
Here's winter 30 weeks early.
Unfortunately, good job.
Coming up after the break, Brian Cook will join us with the latest in sports. But first, here's a look at tonight's stock report.
Where's dinner?
Well, I thought you'd be home a couple of hours ago, and I put everything away.
What is this? Pizza? Pizza?
If you had told me, I would have known what...
Dinner ready. It's a pizza. Too much to have dinner waiting when I go home.
Please don't be so loud.
Don't tell me what to do. You shut up.
I thought you'd be home.
I can get pizza at work.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'll do something better. I'll fix you something else.
Better.
Let go of me.
Get in the kitchen.
No.
Wow, it hurts. Do you want to see what hurts? That's what. And clean up this mess. Shut up.
Be quiet. I'll be quiet.
For information, call 1-800-END-ABUSE.
On the big highway of life, only one safe place for kids. Not the bed at the fountain. Don't want that big old bag to pop out. Put that booties in the backseat. Have that kid can never be out. Here to remind you to put them behind you. To stay alive even when I drive.
It may not look like it, but you're watching the future of the Earth pass by. Because many of these products are made from materials you've been recycling. But to keep recycling working, you need to buy products that say, made from recycled materials. For all those next in line.
Brian Cook joins us now with the latest in sports. Brian?
Thanks, Cynthia. Donovan McNabb continues to rack up rushing yards as the Eagles' starting quarterback. His versatility and dedication to the game is to be commended after he ran 120 yards Sunday against the Skins. In that game, he became the first quarterback in 28 years to rush for over 128 yards in a game, and he is the sixth best in history with 558 yards rushing on the season so far. He has competition from some of the other rushing quarterbacks in the NFL, such as Dante Culpepper, Steve McNair, and hometown QB Corey Stewart. The squeeze right now against the Cincinnati this past Sunday. That 48-28 win is a major adrenaline boost for the Steel Curtain because they play one of the best teams in the NFL this coming Sunday, the Oakland Raiders. Coach Bill Cowher stated that he will be ready to play, and they're in no way intimidated by the success of the Raiders this season. Steve Berline led his Carolina Panthers to a victory last night against the Green Bay Packers, 31-40. Currently 5-7. The Pittsburgh Panthers star Kevin Barlow became the Big East Player of the Week after his performance against West Virginia the day after Thanksgiving. Barlow rushed for 4 touchdowns and 272 yards. He also broke 1,000 yards in that game for the season. He said he loves playing for Pittsburgh, and he looks forward to entering the draft in the future. He will play near his hometown of London, Ontario. The Philadelphia Flyers All-Star center stated that he is willing to make a deal with another team, however, failed to say if he would only play for the Maple Leafs. Lindros worked out in Ontario at a York University rink earlier today. The Pens are in Fleet Center in Boston tonight to take on the Bruins. Guard Peters spoke the call for the Bruins. This starts a 2-game road trip for Pittsburgh. And finally, your very own Clarion University basketball team will play host to Davis and Elkins tonight at 7 o'clock in Tippin Gym. For TV5 Sports, I'm Brian Cook.
A TV news station in Sicily is reading the news in a whole new way. The station says to feature one male newsreader and several strippers who will proceed to fondle the newsreader. The station manager says that he's proud of the creative programming and is calling the show News Pouts. That's all for Clarion's very own TV5 News at 8. Tune in tomorrow night with Carrie LaPoo and Carolyn Kelly. I'm Cynthia Walker. Have a good evening.